Hello, everybody. So it's 2009, and my partner and I are hiking on a very hot day in August, going on a long hike. It's very hot, but I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt because I need to hide some track marks on my arms. I am a crystal meth addict, and we both know this, but we don't talk about it. Shortly into the first incline, an incline that wouldn't have fazed me a year and a half ago, I feel out of breath, I feel winded, and I feel little tingly things going on in my chest, and I'm worried I'm gonna have a heart attack. But I can't be honest about any of this, so I lash out. I thought you said this was gonna be a pleasant mountain hike. He looks at me. Pleasant is the name of the mountain. We're hiking on Pleasant Mountain. I told you this before we left. Lately, he tells me a lot of things I don't hear. We've been in Maine a few months at this point. We moved there from New York. In the short time, he's already got a job. He's looking into how the two of us can start a farming business together. He's worried about how we're going to pay the mortgage 2 years from now. I spend a lot of time running errands. I go to Walmart and disappear all day. And when I come back, I tell lies badly. I say things like, Walmarts are really big. Like, I had to go walk all the way over here to get something, and then I had to walk all the way over there to get something, and then I needed something else, and it was like all the way back over here. And then I had to do the same thing at Lowe's. Oh my God, why am I blanking? Then I had to do the same thing at Lowe's. I'm totally blanking, Donna. Tika, can I check? Can I cheat? Okay, sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Men in Black flashy thing on all of you people. You didn't see that. Okay? I'm a professional. Oh, shit. No, I'm just kidding. I wake up at 11 a.m. on weekdays, and I walk into the kitchen, and John asks me completely innocent questions like, so what's your plan for the day? And it feels like an attack. And I'm like, I'm awake, aren't I? What more do you want from me? Like, as if just being conscious was like something that I deserve something for it. And we all blame this on depression. We both do, because we're both in denial. And here it is, and it's a beautiful day in August, and all my partner really wants to do is go for a walk with me. He just wants to walk up this hill. And 2 years ago, I was working out, I was playing tennis, and if I can't make it up this hike, I'm confirming something is very, very wrong, just undeniably fucked up. So I stop, and I turn around, and I head back to the car, And he goes up to the top of the mountain and he takes a selfie and he sends it to me. And when I open it, the look on his face is heartbreaking. It says, "I shouldn't be here alone." A year later, August 2010, I'm found at a rest stop on I-95. I'm hyperventilating and I'm barefoot. I have a hospital band on my arm, and my arms are covered in bruises. A cop cuffs me, takes me to the Kittery police station, and books me for possession and furnishing a hypodermic needle. When it's all done, he lets me go, and when he uncuffs me, I have to resist this urge to hug him. He was kind of attractive too, so he was actually really hot. In rehab, I sleep for a week. I sleep for an entire week. I start eating food again, which is a new experience. And I'd love to tell you guys that I went to like some like really hardcore rehab that was just like institutional and filled with like a lot of cold tile and like, you know, German nurses and that they like stripped me down and dropped me in the middle of a forest and said, "Find your way home," as some sort of metaphorical exercise or whatever. But no, I went to a really nice rehab in Arizona. It was really, really nice. There was a swimming pool. We got acupuncture. We got massage as well because the acupuncture was very stressful. It's not funny. The grounds were beautiful, and at night, it was in the middle of the desert, and at night there was just these technicolor, amazing, wide open skies and these just unbelievable sunsets. And the day before John arrived for a visit, I was like, he is gonna love it here. It's gonna be some time off from work, he'll be able to relax. When he arrives, I'm so happy to see him. It's only been 3 weeks, but the whole time I'm just like, we're gonna see each other, and I imagine us doing this very Hollywood reunion where it's like we run down the hall and we embrace and we spin. And the moment I see him, I can see he's visibly shaken. And he cuts our hug short. And I'm not quite sure, I'm like, this isn't how I pictured it, what's going on? We head to the cafeteria to get some dinner, and as we're picking up our trays, I look at him and I say, "It's cake night." And then that's when it all dawns on me. That's when I remember I have a rehab name tag on, I have another hospital band on, and I have a full beard that I've grown because I don't have access to razor blades because I'm in a mental institution. The next day in one of our, it's family week, in one of our process groups, we're given 2 assignments, and we're supposed to draw 2 pictures. In the first picture, we're supposed to draw how we, draw a picture that shows how our relationship is now. And then we were supposed to draw a second picture that shows how we want it to be. John shows me his first picture. It's 2 stick figures standing before a very steep hill. One stick figure has his hand on a cart, like a big wagon, and he's ready to hike up the hill. The second stick figure is reclining in the wagon, facing away from the hill, and the other stick figure, totally unshaven, smoking, with headphones on. So, guess which one was me? In the next picture, the way that he wants us to be, the two stick figures are riding a tandem bike on a flat road. John says, you can't tell them apart. You can't tell who is who, and you can't tell who's leading the way. About a month later, I got back from home, and coming home from rehab is a really disorienting experience. You spend all this time away in a very structured environment, going through all of these very profound changes. And then when you come home, everything is exactly the same as it was when you left. That and all of your family is looking at you like this. Is he gonna fall? I couldn't post anything on Facebook without getting a call from my sister. I'm worried you have too much idle time. John and I are both terrified. We're scared that we're not gonna make it, and we're worried that dysfunction is the only thing that helped us to function. I don't really take my post-rehab life by the balls. I don't know why I was sheepish about saying balls, but I'm talking about being a fucking meth addict. I grabbed it by the testes. And I didn't go to many meetings. I went to like 2 meetings a week, which, you know, fresh meth addict right out of rehab, 2 meetings a week, probably not gonna really cut it. I didn't, you know, I wasn't very engaged. I sat around a lot. I did a lot of the same things that I did before I went to rehab, listened to music. And I used. Of course I did. I used. I did it 2 or 3 more times very secretly, and then when it came to a moment when I couldn't get away with it anymore and I had to come clean, I was like, well, this is it. I'm gonna tell him, and he's gonna be like, sorry, can't do this anymore. Instead, he said, you haven't really been trying, have you? He said, you know you can do this. You just have to work harder. And for once, I heard everything he said. I heard everything. I actually listened to him. And I went to meetings, went to a lot of meetings. You know, I didn't do drugs, obviously. I didn't get arrested. When you start getting sober, it's really not like the, hey, guess what happened today? I didn't do drugs and I didn't get arrested. You know, it's not like, that's not really your mark of progress, although it's good. It's definitely good. It's more like the little things. It's like, I answered the phone when you called, and you left a message and I returned it. And when we went to bed at night and he wanted to cuddle, I didn't pull away for fear that he would feel how intensely my heart was beating or how sweaty I was. And it was also just things like, you know, it was like we started going to bed together at the same time, and I would start waking up earlier than he did. And I would start making the coffee for him, and I would start making waffles. And when I was a meth fiend, I would do those things like I'd wake up early on purpose and make waffles and be like, here's some fucking waffles. Are you happy now? I just made the waffles because I was up and I knew he'd been working hard. And I actually really like waffles. So I'm gonna make some waffles on a Saturday morning and we'll have waffles. I also took up photography, and one Christmas, I was almost sober 1 year, and during Christmas, I was going through all these pictures I'd taken in the recent months, and I looked at him and I said, we have a great life, you know that? And he said, that's the best present you could give me right now. Gratitude. So in August of 2012, we decided to give Pleasant Mountain another shot. I'd put on a lot of weight post-meth. It happens when you start eating again. Stress eating. And I thought I could handle it, and we started hiking, and we were hiking, and I started to feel winded, and I said, this must be the place where I turn back. And he said, that spot was long, long, long ago. We got to the top of the mountain, and I couldn't believe I was up here. I actually recognized it from the selfie that he took. And there was all these people up there catching their breath and hanging out, very friendly people. I started talking with them, and John was like very standoffish, and I was like, what's going on? And he said, come over here, I need to talk to you. And I had been sober a long time at that point, maybe about a little over a year and a half, but not long enough that we need to talk didn't trigger like fear in me. Like, oh my God, did I not hike up the mountain fast enough? Did you feel like you were dragging me up there again? I shaved and I don't smoke. I don't have headphones on. And he sat me down in front of this beautiful view, and he said, I was wondering if you wanted to get married. And I suddenly started to feel really dizzy and very giddy and really excited and totally aroused and a little out of breath. And I was like, shit, I feel like I'm on fucking meth. But it was better because, you know, without all the teeth grinding and psychosis, you know. And I said, yes. And we kissed, and it was wonderful, and it was clumsy. And I was like, wait a minute, did you just propose? And he was like, yeah, I guess I did. And I was sort of like, you know how like when you're like, oh my God, we just had a moment, and there went the moment, it's gone, it's over there. And you're like, oh well, it's gone. But it was perfect. It was perfect. It didn't matter. Nothing else mattered. It didn't even matter if we had a ceremony. All that mattered was that he saw fit to ask. So I took out my camera and I held it out in front of me, and we huddled in close. I took the picture. 2 years later, we went to City Hall and got married. And coincidentally enough, tomorrow is our 2nd year wedding anniversary. Thank you. Thank you. And I like to look at that picture that we took together up on the mountain on that day. We're both smiling in it. You can't tell who dragged who up the mountain, and you can't tell who got up there first. Thank you, guys.